Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I promised that I was going to start a YouTube channel and start releasing videos. Here I am. Everyone, my name's Chima Ubachi. I'm a teaching fellow, or I was. Things happen in my life, and I want to share with everybody who's going through a difficult time right now. I am being let go because I underperformed and underachieved. However, I'm going to appeal it and reapply to everything. I've been going through a difficult time in life where I was in a toxic relationship and I lost a lot of money because of what I was going through a difficult time, and this has greatly impacted my performance, and I don't know what to do with my life right now. I'm almost April 14th, I turned 34. I have no wife, no kids, not much in assets, have no career. I worked 10 different jobs in 14 years, I can't even describe how disappointed I am, Top of that, my mom doesn't know about this. I feel disgusted. I feel ashamed. I feel awful. I always thought about like this. Like, if you ever watch Boys in the Hood, the Doughboy character, Ice Cube playing Doughboy, where he said he didn't really care about Christianity or higher power or any religion, because he was in South Central Los Angeles, and being in South Central, you see a lot of poverty and crime and struggle, and black people and Latinos and people of color failing. And you ask, okay, and then you watch the news and see wars. This was the early 90s, so what was he seeing? Wars in Central America, Civil War in Central America, civil wars across Africa, the end of the Cold War, Rodney King beating, 91, 92. So here in Oakland, California, the city I returned to my hometown, thinking I had a bright future, and I can still reapply and appeal and tell them what I've been going through, and I promise that in the future I'll do better if I'm given a second chance. And even though I'm going through my difficult times, I'll try to do my best to succeed and achieve. So you guys might know, I've been watching some videos on Facebook, on YouTube when I had my spare time. I've seen videos where this black woman is 57 years old and she has like no man, no kids, no money. She's basically broke, and she's 57. I believe she gave up a career to pursue acting, and that didn't work out, and she fell on her luck. And then you have an Englishman, a white Englishman, who wakes up 3 in the morning, like basically every day, to drive trucks or deliver stuff or whatever he does. He barely makes enough to survive, and I think he's 42. So these two examples show life can get you sometimes. I don't know their education level of educational attainment. I don't know what their family backgrounds are. I know one is American, one is British. I mean, me myself, I've been in England before. I was in England mid to late August 2005 when I was 14 to see friends and family. Because I'm Nigerian American, I'm Igbo. A lot of Nigerians immigrate to countries like England because of colonial and linguistic ties. Nigerians speak English because they're one of the few West African countries that speak English due to British colonialism. So I don't know much about British society, much about British politics, but I know a little bit about their history though. So I look at that British man, I'm like, Englishman. I mean, I don't know much about the UK, the British society and how it works, but I do know that there's more homelessness in the UK. And I don't know about their level of income inequality, but the United States, our level of income inequality is higher than Great Britain. That's because of systemic racism. I don't know if the British redlined neighborhoods, but I mean, the blacks and other people of color, like London is very racially diverse. I don't know how they were redlined. You understand? Like the U.S., wherever was definitely redlined, and that contributed heavily to because of systemic racism to income inequality. So what you have is a lot of people not making it in life. I type my former classmate's name in my phone. He's from somewhere in East Oakland, California. I'm not going to say where. I'm not going to say his name for obvious reasons. Hold up. He committed a crime. He committed fraud, and he was locked up. Another black guy I went to school with who was originally from San Francisco. I went to Deer Valley in Antioch, California, which is a suburb in the East Bay, where everybody from Oakland, California, San Francisco, Richmond, Pittsburgh moved there to get a better life and better education. So this other guy from San Francisco who moved, I'm not going to say where he moved to, he committed another crime. Then I said to myself, they're both black men. The guy from Oakland is dark skinned. The guy from San Francisco is light skinned. All I have to say about this is there's a lot of young black men. It's easy for young black men to get caught up in these streets, he what do I say? They both grew up in poverty, and there's a lot of young black men who are living in the hood, living in poverty, committing crimes, having baby mamas here and there, committing crimes, going in and out of jail. It's really a thing where the way our country's set up, America is obviously set up for black men to fail, specifically black men to fail. Just look at any penal institution, look at any correctional institution. It doesn't matter where in the country. Have you ever seen Lock Up? And you realize with Lock Up, you watch, if you go to Indiana, right? Where in Indiana do you see a large black population? Let's keep it real. Indianapolis, where Mike Epps is from, Babyface is from Indianapolis. There's only 2 black people I know from Indianapolis. I don't know them, I just know them that they're celebrities. Then you have Gary, Indiana. You have the Jacksons, Michael Jackson, the whole Jackson family, singing family. They're from Gary, Indiana. If it wasn't for music or comedy, or I don't know what these people will be doing in their lives, because you can easily look at Michael Jackson. If he didn't know how to sing, he might have got caught up in these streets too. You go to these rundown schools, impoverished neighborhoods, food deserts, gangbangers everywhere, drug dealing everywhere, prostitution. Everyone's struggling. Then you realize, okay, if you don't get this scholarship, this sports scholarship, you don't get this academic scholarship, you don't know how to sing, rap, play ball, you basically don't have a shot. Too Short said this in his song, where if you can't play sports, or you might come up short, or something like that. I forgot the name of the song. So you look at these things, and you look at how society, the American dream, in my opinion, doesn't even really exist. In 2023, moved back to my hometown, Oakland, California, thinking I had a beautiful, bright future ahead of me, and didn't work out in my favor. It feels like the world is over. I ain't gonna front on anybody. I ain't gonna front. This sucks. This sucks. Where you have to reevaluate your life. You gotta reevaluate your life. You know that? Because it didn't go down the way you wanted it to go down. Now you gotta reevaluate your life, reevaluate your relationship with the higher power, whatever religion you believe in, and then you have to be like, oh, now I need, where am I finna live at? Where am I finna work at? Like, like I'm saying, now you say, okay, this is a fork in the road. Now I need to, how am I going to get experience? If I go back to this job, they'll look at me funny like, oh, you didn't do this, or oh, you didn't do it. Because at the end of the day, we all got to pay our bills, raise kids, go to work, clock in, put in work, go on a vacation when you can, see the world, see other places. You do realize that every 30 days you got bills to pay. Every 30 days you got bills to pay. You got to make sure you turn in your work. You have to make sure you're doing well. And then you realize, have you ever wondered why is our society structured this way? My Facebook post I put, do you realize what capitalism is? Like I looked at this All African People's Revolutionary Party. They have valid points when they say capitalism ain't really that good. Capitalism has fueled poverty, income inequality, mass incarceration, war on drugs, what else? Jealousy, envy, fear, greed, fraud, all sorts of crimes, all sorts of violence. Look at it this way. Because of capitalism, there's poverty and there's income inequality. Okay. You have these two forces. There's nobody want to be broke. Don't nobody want to be living on the streets. I forgot to put capitalism also fuels homelessness on that post. But hey, when you're in desperate situations, you do desperate things. You steal. Here in Oakland, you bip cars. You break into cars. You sell crack. You sell your body. You scam people. You do whatever you steal. Whatever you steal, you do whatever you want. You have to do because you do realize that if it wasn't for capitalism, we won't be having these problems. Think about it. Because of capitalism, every 30 days you got to pay your rent, your mortgage, your insurance, your whatever it is. You have to buy things to survive. Now, when you look at in terms of our government, Trump and Musk are at the top of the government, then you realize, okay, those men are billionaires. Musk is way wealthier than Trump is, and Trump is way, way, way more wealthier than this man, Latino man or whatever, used grains of rice to illustrate wealth. Musk's rice is like this, literally. Trump's is like this, and everybody else is like this, like few grains. So you wonder why people are committing crime. I'm not the first person to point this out. I'm just keeping it real, saying it how it is. You do realize that this is not normal. So you might say Musk and Bezos and Zuckerberg and Gates and Ellison and Trump and Hilton and Rockefeller, they did this stuff. They worked so hard, which they did. And Steve Jobs, they did work hard. But at some point, I'd like to be rich too, but at some point, don't you think you're doing too much? Don't you think you're doing too much? Like you don't need any more money. 450 billion? I think that's enough. Now we have ethical considerations like people in forget poor countries. Here, people don't got food. People are living in the streets. I have empathy for them because I know you're closer to being homeless than being a billionaire. Get that through your brain. I don't look down on anyone who's homeless. Or I don't look down on anyone who's doing certain things to survive. Because what if I was in their situation? Do you ever think like that? So I'm looking at, okay, we live in a society where every 30 days you got to pay your rent, your mortgage, your bills. If you don't do that, whatever you didn't pay for gets taken away. Then you have to look at our educational system. You have people who do 13 years of school, public education for free, okay, to prepare them for the real world. Even if they don't go to college or if they learn a trade, you have to, or so they'll be well off. The only downside of going to college is you have college debt, student loan debt. Learning a trade, you don't have debt, but you have to work really, really hard. Carpenter, whether it's carpenter, whether it's steaming or plumbing or roofing or electrician, or okay, you can start your own business, be an entrepreneur. That's a great way to have a different tax bracket, and that's good. Then you have people who didn't make it to college, or either they got pregnant in high school, or just live in a really bad neighborhood, or got caught up in these streets. These streets are no joke. These big cities is no joke. You have people with broken families, no father figure. 72% of African American FBA families are led by 72% by a single black mother. Black women are less likely, are going to make less money. One, because they're black, racism. Two, because they're female, they're women, sexism. You have those two things again. Yeah, they do say black women are the most educated demographic, but there's also, they have to deal with racism and sexism. Okay? There's a black woman who has a PhD and been looking for a job for 5 years. If that white man had the same PhD degree, I don't think he'll be looking for a job for 5 years. 5 years? So you tell me. Look, that's the reason Harris lost. Let's keep it real, guys. Kamala Harris lost because she's black. She's a half black Jamaican, half Indian woman. Two, from the most liberal part of the world, of the United States, the Bay Area. When you think of, she's from Oakland. You think of Oakland, you think Black Panthers. A lot of white people don't like Black Panthers, especially. They just see thugs with guns. That's how they see it, thugs with guns. Even though the police are the ones doing the killing of it. They don't see it that way. No. Because this is a black woman. Doesn't matter how dark skinned or light skinned. They just see African descent. She's from the Bay Area. Now, these people say, okay, if we vote for this black woman, our lives will radically change and America won't have a white face to represent us and won't. Well, look, Mexico has a female president. Honduras has a female president. Argentina, I believe Chile, Brazil, they had women president. Even Liberia. I say even, not in a derogatory way. I say even because Liberia is America's stepchild. Liberia is the country where liberated African Americans and Afro-Caribbeans went to Liberia to settle create their own state, and they named the capital Monrovia after former President James Monroe, who I believe, which seems ironic because that guy was a racist slave owner, I assume, from Virginia. So, Liberia had a female president before the United States? What does that say about the United States? So November 5th came up. I was like, okay, she's going to lose. I knew she was going to lose because America is too racist and too sexist and don't understand what tariffs are. And that, voila, I proved myself. 2016, we had a white woman run against Trump. She lost. 2020, Biden won against Trump. 2024, Harris lost it. So here's the thing. America doesn't want a female president. It's crazy because most white women voted for Trump against. That's crazy. I don't want to dive too deeply into politics, but it seems like I'm going through a difficult time. This just happened so quickly. I have to think about my future now.